Pochettino leaves Chelsea Football Club in agreement with Chelsea on mutual consent. That is the breaking news. That is what we'll be discussing right now. There are some early people already mentioned in regards to the potential of taking over. We're going to go through the shortlist. I'll say shortlist. There's several numbers of managers that have been named to be a part of this shortlist. We're going to be going through everything in regards to Chelsea Football Club and all the breaking news that we promised you guys as well, guys. So please strap up. It's going to be a messy ride. We've got a panel coming in as well at some point as well. So make sure you're smashing the like buttons, guys, and subscribe to the channel. But Poch is no more. Poch is gone. Poch is left. We're about to cover everything. Let's cue the intro. People, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV for this breaking news live for you guys. Pochettino has left Chelsea Football Club on mutual consent, guys. We have got loads to get into. There is a shortlist already, an early shortlist of managers that have been set up for this. But the real big question in all of this, guys, is was it the right decision? Is it the right decision? Have they made the right decision? Well, it looks like both parties have shaked hands and have agreed to move on. Pochettino, like I said earlier on in today's show, now moves on into maybe potentially finding another job. I don't think he would be heavily impacted in his own, in his own reputation. But he has left the football club. He is out the door. And I want to get your thoughts and feelings in the chat, guys. Let us know what's going on. And like I said to you, at the thick of it, guys, already, we had earlier on the season review show on the defenders and goalies. And here I am again, 2 shows in one day about to cover more news in and around Chelsea Football Club for you. But let's go through the chat, see what you're all saying. And then we're going to go through some of these articles that we've got as well. Lewis is smiling is what we've got here. Why did he leave, though, is the question. Well, we're going to go through that. Cole Palmer says, I think we'll get Flick. Here we go. But this is the big question, guys. Who do you think Chelsea Football Club are going to appoint next? I want you guys in the chat to let us know, get your thoughts and feelings in as well. Nearly 150 people in the building, guys. Make sure you're smashing the like. Do you not watch Fabrizio's videos on YouTube? He said Chelsea would go for a young manager with not much experience. Yes, that is what we've heard. But let's see what happens. That surprised me. Now Chelsea will hire some inexperienced upstairs from the lower division. See, a lot of the feeling already is people feeling that we're going to sign a manager that's very inexperienced. Fletch, Josie seen at Heathrow Airport at arrival with giant Tolrone. Big up to every single one of you that are in here. We never achieve anything if we don't have some stability. All they want is to get rich quick schemes, is what Michael's saying. He's not too happy about it. This is a joke from Doggy as well. Lewis must be the happiest man right now. Everyone's talking about Lewis. Lewis is. He is. Chris says, crazy week. First letting the Rock Thiago go, and now this. He's not too happy. I feel like I'm getting mixed views at the moment from people in the chat. I really hope we don't get over for De Zerbi. I think letting Poch leave is a disgrace. At least there's a lot of people that are very upset by the decisions to allow him to be to not continue at least into a second season. I hate the ownership so much. Yeah, and if the circus continues. There's a lot of people upset right now, guys, and I understand it. I can see it. I can feel it. I can feel it in the air, guys, and I understand it. There's some people, though, that are happy that he is gone and actually believe that this is the right move as well. You should not have a problem with this if we get a upgrade. Poch was failing us for 2/3 of the season. We should not be dying to get to 6th. That's a good point. I've got to give it to him as well. That is a good point. De Zerbi, I'm seeing De Zerbi. A lot of De Zerbi in the chat as well. Here we go. It's not really there, is it? I mean, he's just piggybacked on the back of what Matt Law has released for us as well. I wasn't ready for this, Jig Gem. I know, Anderson. Tell me about it, bro. None of us were ready for this. It's a big surprise. They're going to appoint De Zerbi, but they shouldn't. And there's a lot of people not happy about De Zerbi being appointed potentially. What's up, Chelsea Dan? Good to see you. Yeah, there's talks about Red Devil Studio. How you doing? There's talks about the potentials of Chelsea looking at a leader at the moment in the candidates of managers is Kieran Maguire, who is the Ipswich manager who helped Ipswich obviously get promoted into the Premier League, which That makes me sweat. I'm not going to lie. That worries me a bit. That worries me a bit because I don't understand why you would look at someone like that. But we're going to save it. I'm not going to start opening my mouth and start going into things yet. We're going to get into it. Who's actually available? There's a couple of candidates available, which we're going to be going through soon as well. Big up to you. Yeah, big up to everyone in here, guys. Keep smashing the like, sharing it out. But let's get into things swiftly. There's 200 people in the chat already as well, guys. Keep smashing the likes and let's get into the news. Let's start, shall we? And I want to just quickly start with the Fabrizio Romano comment here. Where is it? Where are you, Fabrizio? Not this one. Just saw you. Not that one. There we are, this one. See, Fabrizio Romano's comment here was, and this was a recent one, he said the expectation from the main part of the dressing room was to see Mauricio Pochettino to continue at Chelsea. This is obviously via Fabrizio Romano, who, to be quite honest with you, even I was sitting here telling you guys, I think he will stay. I think because the players were showing support of him, the players were showing that they were behind him, I honestly thought the owners would have seen this and stuck by it. But there's obviously more to the story. And I think it's more than just what the players wanted. I think, it falls down more to the business element, having and wanting control of your transfers. Is going to be a discussion that we're going to get into as well. There is a little statement that we're going to try and find in regards to the reasons and the ins and out of where and why maybe, Pochettino and the owners have decided to agree this as well. But we're going to get into that more now. Keep smashing the likes. We had this Chelsea article here, as we know, the statement, and we're going to jump into that statement, guys. Let's get into it. Keep smashing the likes, guys. We should be on 100 likes already, so let's get these likes up as quickly as we can, guys. Club statement via Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea can confirm that the club and Mauricio Pochettino have mutually agreed to part ways. Sporting director Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley said, on behalf of everyone of Chelsea, we would like to express our gratitude to Mauricio for his service as this season. As for this season, he will welcome back to the Stamford Bridge at any time, and we wish him all of the very best for the future. Mauricio Pochettino's comments here was to say thank you to Chelsea ownership group and sporting directors for the opportunity to be a part of this football club's history. The club is now well positioned to keep moving forward in the Premier League and Europe in the years to come. And then we got here 3 or 4 individuals that are also with Mauricio Pochettino have left the club, so his backroom staff have also gone with him, which is normal. The club will be making no further comments until such time as a new head coach is appointed, and that's a part of the a big part of it. But who broke the news? Who broke the news initially? Because we thought it might have been an Ornstein. We might have thought it would have been a Fabrizio. Well, it wasn't. It was a Matt Law. Matt Law was the one who broke the news in and around it. What's next for Chelsea? What's the club wants from the next coach? And 5 names who will be listed in the Pochettino. Now, I couldn't get into this one. I couldn't get into this breakdown specifically. But I'm just trying to see. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any little bits that you can entail. And this is a big part of the reasons why supposedly they've mutually decided to part ways from each other. Philosophical differences. Philosophical differences? How can you have a philosophical difference when you both all sat round the table, right, and spoke about the philosophy and the project and the idea of where you want to go from the outset? So, again, was the appointment of Pochettino the right appointment at the time? Because how have we got to this point? How have we got to this point of a philosophical difference? That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. He's gone. Nyack. Big up Nyack in the building. Guys, nearly 300 people in the building. Keep smashing the likes. Let's go. So that makes no sense to me. No arguments or rancor. What does he mean by that? No arguments or rancor. What, between the two of them? I don't get that. Meeting on Monday and Tuesday, which, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was actually told yesterday, and obviously I can share it with you guys now, but I was told yesterday that there was a mutual agreement between Pochettino and the owners for him to part ways, basically. And obviously you listen to these things and you don't really, but it was brought in. I was told it was going to be announced Wednesday. It ended up being today. So it goes to show that maybe Maybe Gem's on to saying Fabrizio Germano, yeah, Gem Ornstein, let's go. No, I'm joking. Club World Cup factor. Yeah, I really want to know why the Club World Cup factor affects that. And we're going to go on to CFC Pies' tweets in a minute, just to clarify these as well. Young progressive successor will be targeted. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing that hurts, because young progressive successor will be targeted to take over this football club. Okay. Who? Because the who is the big part of this for me. Now, as much as I wasn't the biggest fan of Pochettino, I honestly thought he was going to stay. I thought he hit his targets, and I thought he was going to stay at the football club. Obviously, the owners and Pochettino had their differences, as we can see right here, and it was more to do than what was on the pitch. However, to then get rid of him and go back to your Potter 2.0 remarks and try and find a manager that is just very young, maybe inexperienced, has been with a let's say lesser team, but with a team that is nowhere near the level of Chelsea in terms of competitiveness, to then look at that type of manager again to bring into this club because you want a young manager with the young squad makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense, guys. Pochettino goes with his head held high. Well, yeah, of course he's going to go with his head held high. He finished on a high in his head. So why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? This is what I don't get. A lot of people saying this is going to be De Zerbi. I don't know, Who would I go for? That's the biggest question. And I need to really break it down, go through the article with you guys and go through these things. But at the moment, guys, I need you to all keep smashing the like buttons right now. Let's make sure we get these likes up. It should be over 100, guys. I can see you guys over on Twitter as well. Big up to every single one of you. Chelsea Fan TV, there's nearly 200 people of you here, guys. Make sure you're hitting the likes, subscribe as well. Even GNA TV, let's try and get these likes up, guys, if you can, please. That would be amazing. We're going to go to Paul Merson's comments, guys. Paul Merson put a video out on Twitter just now for us to watch. This is his thoughts and opinions.
Just hearing the news about Pochettino, cannot believe he's gone. Cannot believe. I mean, whoever's making this decision is how are you going to replace a manager like him? Just got the team going, went on a great run, getting to Europe, got into sixth in the league from where they were, and he's just got this team playing. It's madness. I cannot believe what I'm hearing.
He's not happy. He ain't happy one bit. Who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Struggling to see how Kieran McKenna would do a better job than Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Thank you for everything, Pochettino, is what Nino's put in here as well. Let's quickly go to a bit more on Pies' side of things. Now, he's commenting here saying from Fabrizio that Chelsea will be really busy again this summer with 1 to 2 centre-backs and maybe a goalkeeper, a striker. 1 to 2 centre-backs, goalkeeper, striker. Now, I would have put the goalkeeper thing last in the pile. The striker element I think we need, but 1 to 2 centre-backs? Are we about to empty out centre-backs right now? Are we about to do that? It's going to be interesting. Do you know what? I'm going to highlight that a bit later on in the show, actually, because I want to talk with the panel, because that's something that they're going to want to get into with it. But let's go to Pies' articles and stuff on the Telegraph via Matt Law. So he's got here that there was no disagreements over who should be in charge of the transfers or which players should or should not be sold. The differences are explained as being more philosophical and relate to the dynamics of working within a club structure. Well, that's very detailed, in depth, isn't it? That's really in depth. So now it's to do with the philosophy of the football club and the dynamics of working within a club structure. So does that mean it's because Pochettino maybe wanted to be granted maybe more responsibility in specific areas? Probably. He probably wanted to have more say in the players coming in that he thinks could probably be better off in his system, which will allow it to be more consistent. Maybe these are some of the things that he wanted. Maybe. Maybe there's more other things. Maybe, like, for example, what I just read earlier, which makes a lot of sense as to why we've just appointed a new a set piece individual at the club. Apparently, he didn't want that. He didn't want a new set piece individual at the club. He said that he has faith and trust in his own team and that he doesn't require set piece individuals. What did we do? We appointed a set piece individual. They didn't listen to him. And the communication between Poch and Bowley and Egbali and co has been very limited for a little while now. This is not something that's only like transpired in the upcoming weeks. This has been going on for a little while. The last time they actually spoke, from what I have been told, was at the meeting at the Chelsea Awards show for the players. So this goes to show you that, again, I get that sort of same taste in my mouth in regards to how it's gone with the likes of like how it went with Thomas Tuchel. Well, you remember we went to the Club World Cup with him. The first time they actually spoke and had any communication with him, or little communication with him, was on that plane. He was at the front, they were at the back. Not much communication, and as soon as you know it, he's gone. So internal meetings decided it. Players are disappointed Pochettino has left. Internal meeting decided it. Eternal meeting decided it. So they've actually sat down and just decided to part ways for whatever reasons. Maybe they just couldn't see eye to eye. There is talks about Tommy T. He is one of the guys that's supposedly been waiting. Again, I think this is more of a hope than it is going to happen. Thomas Tuchel was waiting for this decision at Chelsea on Pochettino. Supposedly, he feels his mission isn't done yet. I think that's easy to use as like a story in regards to what's going on at the moment, because now the vacancy's there. And I don't think they'll pick Thomas Tuchel on and go back to Thomas Tuchel on that as well. There's Pochettino thanking the ownership and directors for everything that they've done. Madueke on Instagram as well. And then we go on to Hansi Flick. Apparently, Hansi Flick is interested in taking up the Chelsea vacancy. Now, that is one manager that is experienced and supposedly is on the list. But then, how old is Hansi Flick? Does it make sense in terms of the young manager category? Does he fit in that category? How old is Hansi Flick? I need to have a look. How old is Hansi Flick? Let's have a quick look. Hansi Flick is 59 years old. So this goes out of the whole realm of young manager because he's 59. So it can't be Hansi Flick. Surely it can't. Ugly football is what we've got. I'm just reading someone's comments in the chat. Chelsea have no plans to go back to Thomas Tuchel, Conte and Mourinho via Matt Law. So Matt Law's made it very stern that there is a list of candidates who we're going to get into very shortly that are young candidates who will come into this football club. I'm not going to lie to you. I've got a feeling it is going to go that way. And that does leave a little bit of taste in my mouth about this football club, about these owners, about the dictatorship, about all these elements. They really have to, for me, now have to get it right. They can't keep doing this. And why I feel Pochettino was kind of like, it was one of them ones, if he got sacked, it was a bit, all right, I understand it. I think it's very hard to see a philosophy or the idea of where they're going if they're sacking managers and then going back to their Potter 2.0 strategy, which is what I call it. It's just it is a typical Potter 2.0 strategy. There's no benefit in what we're doing. So it's just, I'm confused, is what I'm saying at the moment. And I'm going to sit back and I'm not going to make any reactions until I know specifically who they lead it down to. Chelsea want, and then it goes on to this. Don't know what's going on here. There we go. Chelsea want a manager with a possession-based brand of football, able to mount their squad into being able to control matches and also remain defensively stable. Well, number one, equally, how many football clubs would want that kind of that kind of brand? I think most would. Number two, possession-based brand football. So you're talking about a serious tactician, someone that is very system-driven, something that people thought Pochettino was, but obviously isn't. So I don't know. I really don't know. The owners have shares of Brighton too. Fans will not put up with this much longer. They won't if they keep making these mistakes. If we look, put it this way, if we go into a position where we go through the season again with a new manager, young manager, who has the same season as Potter had, inconsistency, not being able to get the best out of what he's got, not being able to structurally get the team to play to a level, we're just going to be sitting on this hill like this and dying on it. Because we go like this, and then we're going like this, and then we're going like this, and then we're going like this. This. We need to be going up, up, up. There has to be progression. Chelsea's next manager will be under pressure to deliver UCL football and compete for trophies. So, I'm sorry, whoever's coming in next, you've got one hell of a job in your first season. You're not even being given time because supposedly these owners that we have at the moment, at the beginning when they first came to this football club, made it very clear that the philosophy idea of what they want to do is to give a manager time, the players time to adapt, to grow, to work with someone closely, to get to that level. What they're doing now is more cutthroat than Roman Abramovich. What they're doing now is more cutthroat than Roman Abramovich, guys. They are literally just cutting them down like nothing. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy, guys. It's bananas. It's absolutely bananas. And we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait and see. But there's a lot of pressure here. And guess who's in control, guys? Guess who's in control of these decisions for us as well? Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart will look for the new manager, guys. Yeah, these two. To be honest, if you don't laugh, you would have cried. Under this ownership, you shouldn't laugh. But what else is there to do? Oh my goodness, you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh to a degree. But listen, they've got a big job in their hands right now. They've made a massive, massive decision to remove him now, based on when you look at the list of availability of managers. Based on the list of availability of managers that we've got coming in as well, it's a big decision that they've done. They've really took a big step here. And mutually it was agreed as well. And it's just, I don't know. And I'm going to continue in a bit. We are going to go into the candidates in a bit, guys, in a bit later. But first, we're going to stay on Pochettino. And we're going to talk to Mr. Free at Last. Hashtag Poch out. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Couch Critic is in the building. A big, massive fan of Poch.
Nah, man. I was never really in his corner, man. What are you talking about, man? Me and you stood on here many, many days talking about we didn't want this guy to come in. And,
Is he gone?
I'm just glad he's gone. No, I'm joking. I don't care. Like, I've always been firm in my beliefs that, like, he's done a good enough job to stay. I don't necessarily believe that what we're hearing right now is 100% accurate. I think that a lot of what has happened and occurred here has more to do with him not getting what he wants. And if he wants to take on, and I don't blame him, to be honest. If he's coming into this team and he's going to bear the brunt of the responsibility should we not meet our objectives, and then you also do not give him the opportunity to, bring in players that he wants to bring in to make sure that he can achieve what he wants to achieve as a football player, then me and myself, I'm kind of like, yeah, man, yeah, maybe this isn't the right fit for you, philosophically, what we're trying to build here has more to do with about managers, directors working together to find the best fit for the best fit for the club. So I'm here for it, man. Like if we're willing to just like work with the directors and have the directors put together the team and then just have the coaches or managers just manage, then that's fine with me. That's all. That's fine with me.
I've got a bit more breaking news for you guys in regards to what, why, how, what was it? Well, we've got a comment here from Max, who is Pies. Mauricio Pochettino disagreed with the transfer and sales strategy. Chelsea's board felt Pochettino's staff are at some fault for the injury issues. Chelsea will go for who they think is best fit. They do not care about the name. Many players are sad and confused.
Yeah, that goes to show you too. We talked about this earlier today too with Josh, where he's like, you know, how do you think the dressing room is going to feel that we sack a guy that they just spent the entire year fighting for? You know, we had a good dynamic in the clubhouse and whatnot. So yeah, like that makes sense to me too. But this again just goes down to what I was thinking earlier. I don't think that this ultimately comes down to, you know, Pochettino being sacked as much as Pochettino just deciding that he doesn't want to be in a position where he can't control his own destiny in some level. Like if I'm going to go down with the ship, I want to go down with my soldiers. You know, I don't want somebody else telling me, oh yeah, you got to play freaking, I don't know, Disasi because we bought him for 30 million. I want to be able to bring in players that I think that can execute the football that I want to play. And yeah, I actually feel that he's not wrong in saying that. I actually think that any manager, I don't think that they should be given control over the transfer window, but he certainly should be able to at least bring in one or two players that fit the profile of football that he wants to execute. That should be given to him. It shouldn't just be like, okay, here's 25, 26 players, figure it out. You know, because it's very hard even just to communicate what it is that you want football wise when you don't have ambassadors for the type of football that you want to play. So here we go. Here we go. Here we are.
It's literally here we go. It's literally a Kukurea with his comments says, thanks for everything, mister. Good luck in the future. And it's a very shocked face. And the players are probably shocked. I don't think the players have been really, in my opinion, I don't think they've been told, from what I've been told. I don't think they've actually been told that this was going to be the case. And I keep seeing this pop up and it's just making me laugh.
Oh my
it's
God.
Free
Are we for real?
It's free to dream, mate. It's free to dream. And it is a dream because from what we're being told, we're not going for anyone other than, by the looks of it, these links here, which we're going to go into now. Which
Who the hell is Enzo Maresca? Who the hell's that? Where are these names, man? What is this? Wow.
I am actually going to.
And like they're talking about playing possession-based football and wanting somebody to challenge for want somebody that can get us Champions League football, want somebody that can play possession-based and have a defensive structure. And then they have Thomas Frank there. Like, what is Thomas Frank's name doing there? He plays counter-attacking football. He's very defensive-minded, and he's never been in Europe. Like, what are we doing here? Leicester manager? You got to be joking, man. Come on now.
Well, actually, two of the managers here are championship managers, by the way, guys. Kieran McKenna, who, by the way, listen, Couch can back me on this, actually. Yesterday, Couch, I mentioned about mutual consent in the chat, didn't I? I wasn't 100% sure, but I got told that Pochettino and Chelsea had an agreement in mutual to part ways. I actually thought it was Wednesday. That's what I got told. But this was spoken about in the group, wasn't it? That this is going to happen. But also, and it worries me a little bit, it's also the replacements that worries me. And as much as I wasn't a big fan of Pochettino, you know that. It made sense giving him maybe one more season. But then you look at where they're going with this, and I keep stressing how important this third season is under them to make sure they get it right by doing this. Because whoever they're bringing in, and I've already just read through Matt Law, apparently they've got to get UEFA Champions League football and they've got to win trophies. So whoever you're bringing in has to, for me, be an experienced manager if you want them kind of things. You can't be asking Kieran McKenna, Enzo Maresca, blimmin' Eddie Howe, even Thomas Frank, these managers to come in and go, right, you need to win with what we have. Make it happen. Yeah, but my CV shows that I haven't won anything. So why the hell are you looking for people that haven't done it before and then giving them targets like that? It makes no sense. So what from Matt Law saying? So from what Matt Law's saying to what we're being told about the list of managers that are going to be chosen, and Vincent Kompany's in this list, by the way, as well, guys. I'm not even ignore that. Vincent Kompany is also included in this list as well. None of these managers have won anything. So how can you set these targets and have this project of young, yeah, It makes no. It confuses me even thinking about it.
Zero sense.
Do you
It
get what I
makes
mean?
zero sense.
Like,
And
what
like
are you?
this is what I was saying. Like, and not only that, like we've already established that he had a good dynamic in the dressing room with the players, like in the clubhouse. They were fighting for him.
No, of
You're
course
now
not.
going to again give this young playing staff yet another coach to that has another way of playing and expect them to reach the heights. We're on a treadmill right now. Let's just be real. We are on a treadmill right now. We do not have a specific philosophy of how we want to win, a specific way that we want to push forward. It's just chop and change at an even a more alarming rate than when we had a previous regime under Roman Abramovich. This is like even more starkly different to that. Like we're talking about every 6 months we got a new manager. Like this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy, and for me, like for these young players, they need a consistent methodology and a consistent ideology in order to reach their heights. I mean, you can't continually every 3 or 4 months give them a new way of playing and expect them to find their best football. It's just not going to work like that. We have another season here. We're going into what is it's a European the European Cups this summer.
Yeah.
We have the Olympics.
Which
How
Enzo's
long do you
very
give?
good.
How long do you think this manager is going to have to implement his philosophy and get us hitting the ground running? How long?
Oh, by the way, Pochettino will return to Stamford Bridge in 19 days for the Soccer Aid, guys.
Oh,
Just to let you
great!
know.
Awesome.
So he's left it on mutual consent. That's transfer news. Apparently, Tottenham want Chalobah and Gallagher at the same time. Cole Palmer's bought out his farewell as well. And when you look at the odds right now, guys, this is the odds supposedly for the. Have I got it up now? You can see it, can't you? No, you can't see. Look at something else. This is the odd for the managers that we're being given so far. This is it. This is it. Robert De Zerbi, 2-1.
Short money on De Zerbi and McKenna. Wow.
McKenna.
I don't think Amarin. Who put? Is this like the Sky Bet? Because
This
there's
is
no way
Sky Bet.
Amarin's coming in. There's absolutely
Sky
no
Bet.
way Amarin's coming in. This is silly. Like his release clause is crazy. Well, we're not paying no release clause for a manager that has played in Portugal. Like come on now. Let's be real here. That's not happening.
Guys, we nearly have 400 people in the building right now. Make sure you're rolling up these lives, guys. Tap the screen.
Go.
Tap the screens, get the likes up, guys. Share it out in all your socials. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Yeah, if you're watching over Twitter, come and say hello, guys. There's 140 over there. Watch it as well. Big up to you guys. There's a lot going on. We're going to continue giving you breaking news as we go along. But I really want to delve into this side of it now, which is who do we want, Couch? Who? Now you're the board. You've made this decision to let Pochettino leave because of whatever reasons he doesn't fit your philosophy. Apparently, this is what we've been told. He's against the philosophy of what they're trying to do, which makes no sense to me. Because why did you appoint him in the first place if it's a philosophy problem? That makes no sense to me. Who for you in what's available?
Don't ask me what's available. Okay, so
All right.
I don't agree with any of these choices here. I would have said, I'm thinking that we just need to get another caretaker until the next summer, and look at the likes of maybe Pep, Klopp, what's his face? The only name that I could see as being one that I can get behind is maybe Hansi Flick, and he's been sniffing around the club for the last little while now. He's a guy that was, rumored last year to take over for what's his face for Lampard or after Potter, and then he was also back. Big up DJ Seth. He was also back at the club in December when things were going pear-shaped for Pochettino. So, they've obviously have contacts with this guy and has spoken to him a few times. So, I mean, he would be somebody that I would at least be thinking about at this point in time, because I can't see any of these names here: De Zerbi, McKenna, Amarin, Tuchel, Frank, Mourinho, Sanchez. I don't even know the fuck that is. Hunis coming in and being, anything close to, successful for me at least.
Yeah, I hear you. Kevin's in the building. Long time no see the big man, Kevin. How we doing, brother?
What's going on, bro? Yeah, man. I'm all
Come on, what we
trying
saying?
to be okay, bro. I'm trying to be okay, man. But I just don't know, bro. Like, what have they got up the sleeve right now? These owners, brother. I just don't know where we go from here. But there's been a few names been thrown around, McKenna's and all that. If they're gonna go with that kind of caliber manager, bro, we fucks, bro. We're going
Totally.
backwards, bro. We've
Totally.
just you think about it, bro. Yeah, just think of it like this. Yeah, we've gone through all the heartache throughout the season. I mean, January we lost against Everton, we lost against Wolves, we lost against Middlesbrough. We was losing every game. It was shit, and we've gone through all that heartache. They've stuck with the manager, and now we're 6th place. And now they get rid of him within 2 fucking games. Two days of the end of the season, bro. This does not make any sense to me, brother. Does not make no sense to me. But if they're gonna go and get a McKenna or someone like that, brother, we fucked, bro. We are fucked. So I don't believe that that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna try and get someone better. They're gonna go for someone better than Poch, bro. Because end of the day,
Kevin? Who is that for you? Who would you pick from what's available at the moment?
well, I've been doing my research. I've got a little list just in front of me, just here.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's difficult, brother. It's difficult. If Tuchel would want the job back, I don't think he would. Maybe he would be a good choice. You got Jose, obviously. He can come and bring you some stability. He's not going to be for a long period of time, maybe 2 seasons max, just to steady the ship, get us back to Champions League, try and win a cup. Jose would be a good choice. Simeone, I've heard rumours that he wants a new project, wants a new career, somebody else. And there's obviously Hansi Flick, the old Bayern. Those are the caliber managers we should be looking for. Those 4 alone could bring more cohesion, a stability, a winning methodology to this team. There's obviously the De Zerbi from Brighton as well, but he's taking a risk with De Zerbi. I don't think he's going to bring anything that Pochettino wouldn't. He hasn't won anything. We need winners. Tuchel, Jose, Simeone, Flick, winners. Structure, mentality. They got across the board. If it's not one of them managers, it's a risk. If you're going to sack Poch and bring in the Zerbi, it's a risk. So for me personally, we're just staying there. If you're going to get someone who's going to bring us to that level, bring us back to the Chelsea that we know. We're a Champions League team. We need a Champions League manager. If you're going to go for an Ipswich manager, there's no point. We're just going to be back to square one. So these board members,
there's big rumors around De Zerbi at the moment. People seem to think that Winstanley's favouring, because they're in control with this. By the way, it's Winstanley and Stewart who are in control of appointing back to the owners on who they feel are the best candidates out of the several on the list. Basically, Winstanley's going to be pushing De Zerbi by the sounds of it.
And the reason being is he's worked with him at Brighton, and that, for me personally, De Zerbi, he plays a good style of football at Brighton, but when you look at it we need winners. I want a winning man. I don't care about style of football. That's just temporary. Style of football doesn't bring you success. Look at the teams that play a good style of football. Does that necessarily mean they're going to win? I want to win stuff. This is Chelsea Football Club, bro. We can't keep going to Wembley and losing. We can't keep going through the same pain we've had for the last 2 seasons. We need winners. We need someone who's good at him. These young players need to look at their manager and be like, this is the manager I'm going to listen to. He's won it. He's been there and he's won it, and I believe in him. With Pochettino, it was never that, bro. It was never. He's never won anything. He's won a cup at PSG, bro. He's not a winning manager. He's a good manager. He's a decent manager at best, and that's why I believe these board members are probably cut ties with him. Obviously, I don't think he was going to get back to the best of his liking as well. Like, come on, in the last transfer window in last summer, it was well documented that he wanted a core to the team. He wanted experience of the team. He never got that. Maybe there's been discussions about this transfer window, and he wasn't going to get backed again. But when you look at it, we've got a good squad there. There's a decent squad there. I think 2-3 more quality players, experienced players. We're not far from Champions League. We're not far from being the team that we've seen. But if they go ahead and get that there's an end zone manager from Leicester, and there's a McKenna, and these managers has been touted. We are going backwards. We cannot go.
I've been saying treadmill. I've been saying treadmill. I agree, though. I agree 100%. This is treadmill if we're not going for a manager that can take us forward. No more guesswork in the manager position, man. Seriously.
I agree. Yeah. And that falls on to the two that are reporting back. This is what people need to realize as well. This is why the decision of going into the third season of these owners of getting the right manager now. Because let's be serious. This is more cutthroat than Abramovich right now. In terms of sacking. It's not just bang,
this is
bang,
bad.
Bang. This is Enzo.
This is Enzo's
fifth manager,
man. This is Enzo's fifth manager, bro. And he's only been here since last January, bro. Like, I'm just trying to get some sense out of this, bro, right now. Like, they should have pulled the plug from January, brother. When we had that run in January where we were shit, I remember leaving Everton away, and I walked up the ground and I was like, wow, what have I just witnessed here? And they should have pulled the plug from there. Middlesbrough, another game which was shit, and they've stuck with this manager, and they've took a gamble. We've just about got into Europe. This is not making no sense to me, brother. We've just got to Europe. I was now thinking, you know what? Give Pochettino some more time. Give him a couple more signings. Give him the right medical staff to treat the players for one. Because think about it, we've had 46 different injuries this season. It's not completely his fault, brother. He's been handed. He's been dealt with a shit pack of fucking cards, bro. So get him the right people around him, get him the right signings, and give him another go. End up going and sacked him 2 days after. So nothing's making sense, brother. It's either to go for an elite manager or with Fox, bro. I won't be watching. I can't be asked even spending another money on this club. If they go and get a McKenna or this Enzo Leicester geezer, bro, done. I ain't even gonna bother, bro. Because
I don't think any Chelsea fan, will be happy in the right frame of mind of any of them two managers coming. These are managers that ain't even played Premier League football, even been coaching in Premier League football yet. They've just got promoted, for goodness sake. Why are we looking at championship managers? What is wrong with this fucking ownership? What are you looking at? Like, and
the thing is, Jem, we are 3 into the third season now of this project, brother. They've trial and error already. I mean, when you sacked Thomas Tuchel and brought Potter in, that was it. They've experimented with this club. They've taken out all the fucking, stripped this club of all its identity, brought in all these newbies from top to bottom, in groundsmen, fucking kitchen staff. The whole club is changed. This is a new Chelsea. And no fucking around with the club now, brother. You've already ruined the back room of this club. This at least get us a top manager in, because the players that we've got, it's proved that they're good enough. They're good enough to be a Champions League team. I doubt we are good enough to be a Premier League winning team. But we are good enough to be a top 14. Yeah. So get a manager in that's going to push us on. He's going to have a defensive tactical plan, because Pochettino in most games, it was shocking. In-game management Pochettino was shocking as well. So get us a manager that can do everything and guarantee we'll be pushing top 4. If they go and trial again and trial and error again with another manager like a freaking these championship managers, bro, guaranteed we're going to be in the same place. We're going to go backwards, bro.
We're relying on Winstanley and Stewart to provide a breakdown of the several candidates to the owners and make the right decisions. So in theory, the owners have said, he's gone now. You guys go and work out who you think's best for our project, our ideas, our philosophy, but we need to be, these are our targets. Champions League football, which is what Matt Law said in his article just now. Yeah, and winning trophies. They're going to be the target for any manager that comes in next season. But you want to look at Kieran Maguire and Leicester managers who have never won anything. How do you work out? I want to win trophies and get Champions League football, but we should get Kieran Maguire. How do you put two and two together?
I know why you're losing your head, but this is the thing that's crazy to me, right? So obviously everyone knows where I stood. I was Poch out. That in-game management was terrible. That there was just madness that was going on. But I admit, to Couch's credit, that it wasn't all his fault. The ownership gave him a shit hand. And honestly, the way they did him at the end, I can't believe I'm saying it, is absolutely ruthless. If you thought he wasn't going to get Champions League football, which all of us had resigned ourselves somewhere in around, what was it, January? We all were like, there's no way. There's no way we can get this. Why didn't you sack him then?
Jurgen Klopp's
Like-
available.
No. But this is not. Don't play with me, Jem. Please don't troll me. I'm trying to say, why didn't you sack Poch earlier when we were in 2 flipping cups, when we still had a chance to get Champions League? Because I was told I'm crazy for saying that this team could accomplish Champions League football. I was told I was crazy. No. Couch. How many points did we not finish by? Couch. How many points did we not finish by?
Yeah.
How many points did we finish off? No, but Couch, genuinely. How many points did we drop to stupid teams?
Yeah, but it's
You
just, I don't think that we're a Champions League team. I don't think that we played
Wait,
well enough
Couch,
for the
before you come in.
entire season.
Before you
Yeah,
come
yeah.
in, people. It's not unusual to get lost. Right?
What's wrong with this guy?
It's not
Go eat your food,
unusual
man.
to get lost by anyone. Hey, you know that bag there, isn't it?
Yo,
you
you got a
happy
nice
to hear
little
it,
voice. Yo, Donnie, you got a nice little voice on you there, man. You and Callie should link up. You got the freaking Bruno Mars looking looks and then your voice. Yes,
Yo,
man.
Hey, I'm telling you, this guy dug his own grave, bruv. He dug his own grave, yeah?
You're happy with Kieran Maguire coming to Chelsea?
Who's Kieran Maguire? Why do you keep saying Kieran Maguire? I love the fact that you just keep telling this guy to Kieran Maguire.
Kieran Maguire.
And
McKenna.
I'll let Catch now
McKenna.
anyway.
No, it's all good. I don't even know where I was anymore. It's just like I feel like we're in a position where I know we're thinking that they sacked him. I don't know if that's what's happened. I really don't think so, to be honest. I really think that
They said they mutually parted ways.
Yeah, and like a lot of the stuff that's come out is that Poch wanted more control over transfers. And for that reason, if he's not going to get that, he doesn't want to be the manager anymore. They're like, all right, see you later. You know, so I'm not sure if they're like, well, we're judging what you've done this season and all this stuff and everything that has transpired. We've made the decision to sack you. I don't think that's what's happened here. I think it's a philosophical difference where he said, listen, I need to if I'm going to die, I want to die on my own sword. You know, if I'm going to die on my own sword, I want to be able to pick the players that I want to die with, you know, and clearly that's not what's happening here. And I agree with that, to be honest.
It says Fabregas people are asking for as well.
Also, wait, real quick, Jem, I have to apologize because I called Poch a yes man. Either he just got sacked or he just mutually parted ways over the fact he wouldn't compromise over the ownership taking him out of the recruitment process. That makes him not a yes man. So I got to hold my hands up and, you know, give him a small consolation because that's truthfully what's happening or going on. That's the situation.
What I will say in this is that the Brighton announcement of De Zerbi leaving was very unusual. The way it just come out and said De Zerbi's, he's leaving with from paths. The relationship between Bowley and Tony Bloom, which is very, very good, by the way. And then the recent sacking of Pochettino, which is, I don't think you can ignore, guys. I don't think you can of the De Zerbi links. I think the De Zerbi links, for me, makes sense coming in and taking over this club. Out of all of them, really, truly. But I just don't know how confident I am in terms of where we go with him. Because you got to bear in mind, whoever comes in next has big expectations from the board. So are we going to bring De Zerbi in and say to him, you've got to get Champions League and you've got to try and win us a trophy or something? Like a lot of managers are the younger managers, and I'm thinking like a bit thingy here. If you're a young manager that's being approached by Chelsea Football Club, it's exciting. You think, Jesus, Chelsea Football Club want me? Okay. And then they turn around and say to you, yeah, we think you fit what we're doing. We've got young players. You're a young manager. We like what you've done this season with your, where you are. But if you come to us, there's a couple of things you need to understand. We're going to give you the tools. You just need to make it work, because that's one thing I've massively about how we run. Yeah. And on top of that, you need to be able to get us Champions League football next year, because we finished sixth this year, and you're going to have to try and get us a trophy. If you're a young manager that's never done that, that's an array amount of pressure to then go, do you know what? Yeah, I want this job. And you haven't done it before, by the way. So, who is it really going to attract is my question. Who is it really going to attract this type of job?
I think basically, I think with us getting Europa League, it's kind of a good proposition for an up-and-coming manager. So I can see why we've been linked with these up-and-coming managers for them to come and do the business here. But what these owners have got to understand is we are not a project team. This is not a project club. This is not a team or a club where a manager, up-and-coming manager, can come and learn his trade. You know, that's a Brighton project. That's a lower team. This is Chelsea Football Club, bro. Like they need to be going for the best of the best. We are the best of the best. We're the best team in London. One of the most elite clubs in you know, 2-time Champions League winning in club. You know, so if we're not going for the best of the best, I don't know. But in answer to your question, most managers would take Chelsea Football Club, because think about it, we're in one of the best areas in London. We've got European football, which is a good thing. They've got some of the most promising players at their disposal. Come on, we can't lie. We've got Cole Palmer, we've got Madueke, Caicedo, Enzos. We've got a good team. But it's one of them things. It's the only thing that would, say, if I was an up-and-coming manager or a manager at a level, it's the board. It's the board's the only thing that could fuck things up for us right now is the board. Because
Jim.
think about it. They know what they're doing. They don't want to go and get elite players. You just think the last signing we've made is this Enzo William guy from Palmeiras, another 17-year-old. If you're a manager that wants to win things and you're ambitious, why do we keep going for 17-year-old players? You see what I'm trying to say? We need to be going for elite players. We need to be going for Ushermans. We need to be going for, like, Thiago Silva's gone. We don't need another young centre back. We need a Jimenez from Atletico Madrid. We need players that have got international and Champions League experience to take this team forward. All the youngsters can learn from these kind of players. We've got leadership in the squad. We've got a core to the squad, but these board members don't seem to be wanting to do it. So that's the only reason I believe that a top manager want to take the job. Because if you think about it, we've had all the top managers in the game right now. Ancelotti's, we've had them. Tuchel's, we've had them. Just think about it. In the semi-final alone, we had 2-3 ex-Chelsea managers in. So managers want to come to Chelsea. But when I look at the project in the nutshell, when you see signing nothing but youngsters, as if you're a top manager, why do you want to just work with youngsters? You want experienced pros next to you, so you can both you and the players, experienced players. You can both teach the youngsters something. If it's just a bunch of youngsters, what are you going to do when the chips are down? When you're 2-1 down, you haven't got a Thiago Silva in the squad now. What are you going to do? Who are you going to turn to? Who are you going to give the message to?
Can I say something quickly? You man can hear me.
I just want to jump. Just let me finish this point here, and then I'll give it over to you, Ches. It's just quickly, just to piggyback off of what Kevin said, because like truly, there's no top manager that wants. If you're going to give them the objectives of getting Champions League football, competing for titles and whatnot, they don't want to work with kids. They want to work with an experienced side. It was the same thing under Tuchel. Tuchel was like, "Yeah, man, like I need experienced players right now." And that's why he went out the door, because he didn't want to deal with this project where they're talking about bringing in 16 and 17-year-olds at every turn. If the objective is Champions League football and above, then you have to get more experience in the side, and you have to have an experienced manager that knows how to deliver that. This whole project thing is not it. It's just not it. You know, and we're not. And it's just like Kevin said, we're not this like project team that is like meandering about with like whatever, you know, low expectations, and we'll see what happens.
I disagree with that though. I can't lie. I disagree with you, man. I can't lie. Because I was speaking to the man. We're speaking to the man. Then been thinking to myself, because the news got released about 2 hours ago now. It's been an hour and a half, whatever. Yeah, bro. Put it in perspective. Yeah, they had Poch hired because they believe he was the guy to help us get Champions League football, Europa League football. He changed from pre-season, granted injuries, maybe his fault or not, we can't really prove either way, so cool. He changed up his system, it didn't work for half the season. Half the season, we were mid-table. Don't revisionize the season now, like it was all grand and rosy, and it was all happy, all Dory and all this crap. Half the season, we were mid-table. We wanted him out halfway through the season because he weren't doing well. Now, the last 6 games, we've turned it around. It's been a good atmosphere. He's been vibrant. He's been coming out. He's been saying the right things as Chelsea manager. But at the end of the day, you look at the full season, it's probably just not quite been good enough. And even to a point, bro, about us not being good enough, we ended up 5 points behind fourth. 5. After being half the season crap. Now, I agree with you. There's no assurances that McKenna coming in or these men coming in are going to make us third in the league or fourth. I agree with you. And we definitely need experience to a certain degree within this team. But the end of the day is, in a half the season was crap, and yet we only finished 5 points behind fourth. So, of course, the ownership were like, bro, we need to be making Champions League. We need to be winning trophies. This guy got to 2 finals and fluffed both of them. There's no excuse for a Liverpool game. None. Me and Gemma don't care. That's on him. If he had won that final, he'll still be here. Because he had proof, he would have some sort of proof of like winning. At the end of the day, he loses the finals, half the season were crap, the players aren't happy, playing players out of position, and now all of a sudden, because we won 6 games, everyone's like the season was fine. And the season
I think
was
my
okay.
question to you, Jez, my question to you would be, and obviously
Yeah?
you know my thoughts on Pochettino for most of the season, but
Go on, ask you a question, go on.
we're getting rid of him. But then you look at the list of candidates that are being bought, that are on the table. Are you confident in the next manager coming in doing a better job, a younger manager, which it looks
Great
like?
question. Guess what my answer is? Guys, who's Arnie's slot? Who is he? Was he established? Who's Arnie's slot?
Arnie's
who
slot
is he?
from Liverpool. From Liverpool.
Yeah, who is he?
Yeah.
Who is he? Who is
I don't
he,
know.
though?
All I know is he's got a decent background of doing well at Feyenoord.
Cool. So my point is, we're not the only club going through this turmoil of sort of experienced managers in the manager market. This is everybody.
That
This is
doesn't make it
Barca.
right.
No. You're not getting my point. That's not my point whether it's right or wrong. I'm just stating a fact. Barca, Bayern, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, all going through very similar situations where do you stick or twist? Do you stick with your guy or do you explore the market, get something new? Who was Xabi Alonso 2 years ago? Who was even McKenna in League One 2 years ago? They were nobodies. But guess what? That's the market. Who was Arteta 4 years ago? A nobody.
The person he is now.
So, no, that's not even my point. My point is, all these managers who are rated right now, Arteta, Xabi Alonso's, they were nobodies. They got trusted, and now they've become the new up-and-coming guys.
Yeah, but they got given time.
But Jem,
giving people time at the moment.
Poch was poor this season.
No, we know that. We know that, but it's not about
so
that.
why is everyone? But Jem, why is everyone acting like the season was good? It was crap.
Who said that the season was good? No one said the season was good.
So that's wrong. So why, if the season was crap, we've got a good squad, 5 points behind fourth. Why are we even debating whether we should have got sacked or not?
Because it goes.
I don't get it.
We're not debating that. You should have
the debate comes with the manager availability, which I hear what you're saying.
Let me just say, I'm a firm believer that I don't think he should have been sacked. I don't think he should have been, and I don't think that he was sacked either. And I think that he's done enough. I think that he's done enough to keep the job. Like a cup semifinal, a million injuries.
I don't agree with that, man. I don't.
This is the thing.
I know, but I'm just telling you, that's how I feel.
Dennis, you know what I disagree with you, yeah?
These owners preached at the beginning of taking over.
No, but Jem, you have to
wait. It's important. You can't ignore it. Listen to it. Sustainability. Yeah, they were talking about sustainability. They were telling us that whoever they bring in, which was going to be a young manager or whatever, which we've always been with younger players, and that there was going to be a manager brought in who was going to be given the time to do what they were going to do. Now, I'm not saying this just specifically for Pochettino. I'm just talking in the realms of what these owners have said they want to do with a manager that comes into Chelsea that they've recruited and they've done their checks on. Okay, but the way that we're moving at the moment is more cutthroat than Roman Abramovich. And on top of that,
nah. Poch, nah.
Let me respond.
Roman would have sacked him.
Jem, let me respond.
We want high expectations. We want high expectations each and every season that we're going into them, which is fine. But then we're looking at all these mediocre managers.
Jem, let me respond to you. No. You said not.
That's not making sense.
No. You know what's not making sense? You just talked about standards, but I've got man them in this very flipping chat telling me we should keep him. We were table for flipping 19 games. 19.
I understand this, but I'm just talking.
Not even that, Not even the mid-table part. Cool. Inexperience. Say no. Conceding the most goals in the Premier League era. Poor style of play. Plays out of position. Poor press conferences. Us man, them, we're all true. We talk all the time. We've been saying this stuff. The last 6 games has been decent to good. I've been happy. But at the end of the day, I see business is business. I'm a guy, innit? Business is business. get your job done, keep it stepping. So I agree with you. The manager market might not be the greatest, but like I said before, that's for everybody, not just us. So why is everyone acting surprised now we're at the market and we're like, oh, who should we get, bro?
Wait,
That doesn't mean we keep Poch.
Ches, let me add to that. Let me add to that.
One sec, Don. One last point. One last point. I'm done. Yeah. One last point. I got cooking it. My thing is, they've weighed up the whole season, man. Them and gone, you know what? Balance it out. Injuries, cool. Style of finals, a bit poor. He just hasn't done enough. If he'd won these finals, got a few wins here and there, and got 5th or 4th, he'd probably be in the job. But it's on him. Why are we
exactly? Yeah. Let me come in. Let me come in now. Yeah, because Jem, I get what you're saying about the mediocre managers, and you're saying that you want to get top 4, you want us to get back into Europe. The targets are looking serious.
No, Matt Lord said in his article that strictly next season the targets for whoever comes in is top 4 and trophies.
And rightly so, and it should be that, because and it should be that. But the problem here, what I think these lot have realized, is, for me, like I said, I was just speaking to Couch on my channel. Big up Couch for coming on as well, bro. I honestly feel like this manager hoodwinked these lot in the interview, right? I don't know if you lot have been to job interviews before where you've gone in there and you've winged it, You've answered everything correctly, you've done all your research beforehand, but then when you've actually doing the job, they're looking at you and thinking, yo, this brother can't do the job, lad. And then you get sacked. You know what I mean? Because I'll be real, that's happened to me before. I was 17. 17, 18. I just found my way in a job by blagging my way through it. When I was in there, I didn't know what I was doing. And that's what I feel like Poch did. I feel like when they were asking him about, okay, what would you do with this in this situation? Or what would you do with this guy? Oh, yeah, I'll invert them. Oh, yeah, I'll do this. Do you know what I mean? He showed us something in pre-season and then he went away from it. But what I'm saying, Jem, is if the manager's showing them one thing and then he goes and changes it and does something completely different to what he said in the interview, you've got to look at the manager, bro. Because like I said, I feel like this is me just speculating. Like I've said, this is me just speculating. This is how I feel. This is what I feel like he's done, because initially he showed us something which was working perfectly fine, and then he went away from it, right? And like I said to you lot, start of the season, I said this brother is digging his own grave. And every single person that wanted him out in September, I literally couldn't defend him. I couldn't defend him, bro, because I could see exactly what he was doing wrong and how he wasn't rectifying his mistakes. But the difference with me, I was being a little bit fairer, bro. I said, listen, there's a lot of injuries right now. I still want to see Poch with players that are fit, like in Cuckoo, Reece James and whatnot, these key players. I want to see them back and see what he does then, because I don't think he's the worst coach, but right now he's doing crazy stuff that I did not expect. Man United was a strike for me. Middlesbrough was a heavy strike for me. And then my last strike came up against Wolves when we lost 4-2 at home, when, like I said, Cunha scored a hat-trick. Because that game, he started in Cuckoo, he started Enzo, he started Palmer, he started Caicedo, he started bare ballers in that game, and we still lost. And I remember that game, that week, we conceded about 8 goals in a week or something like that. We were getting battered left, right, and centre, bro. Do you know what I mean? And start of the season as well, we were keeping a lot of possession in a lot of games, bro. Was controlling the games and whatnot, but we were struggling to break down low blocks because he's starting 2 attackers. He's starting Gallagher in the 10. He's starting Enzo in the 10, right? Then he went away from that and started doing ping-pong lack of control football, So it's like, yo, what are you really trying to do? What are you really, really trying to do? It's 38 games, and it's the last 5 games where we've actually seen him make a tweak that he should have done at the start of the season. You know what I mean? Because no one was telling this guy to go play Levi Cole at left back and play Ben Chilwell in front of him. No one told him to do that. Only Poch decided to do that. By the way, Cucurella and Maatsen were both on the bench during the first few games. It's only Mudryk. It's only against Bournemouth when we played Bournemouth when we drew that game. By the way, he wanted to protect a point, by the way, against Bournemouth. And they were crap at the start of the season. I remember when I went to them, I was like, bro, we need to batter these lot because they're not looking good at the minute. They were looking so bad at the start of the season, right? We go and draw over there, right? So time and time again, like Ches has said, this guy has done some crazy stuff where I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yo, this is you that's making that decision. That's not the injuries. Do you know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm happy with the fact that he's been sacked. The main thing for me is that they need to make sure they bring in the right replacement, because sacking Tuchel, again, for me was the right decision in my opinion. But bringing in Graham Potter was not the right decision. He should have never been, given that big job. And for me, Kieran McKenna is giving me Graham Potter vibes, bro. I don't want to see that. You know who I want? I want Big Roberto. That's who I want. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I want Roberto, because like the owners have said, and like what's coming out, what they've been saying, they basically said they want a manager that can control games, not leak as many goals at the back, and basically use the squad well, because that's the main problem that I've had with Poch.
Possession
He has
based,
not been. He has possession-based football.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Possession. Yeah, that's what they want, right? And that's what I've been saying all season. This manager's got a bunch of players, and he doesn't know what to do with them. He's trying to play rock and roll Liverpool football with players as if they're all Gallagher's, bro. Yeah, and it's no surprise that a lot of these guys have been getting injured. The other day I spoke about Arsenal, bro. You barely ever see any Arsenal players getting injured because they don't play ping pong football. Most of the time they're near each other. Yeah, and if you go check Arsenal's injury record, even Man City's, it's very good. And I think a big reason why is because of how they control the games, bro. Yeah, when you're running up and down, you're gonna get guys injured. And apparently that's one of the things that's one of the hold on.
With that, but also with that, I'm just gonna jump on that what you just said with Arsenal. They've also trained for 3 or 4 seasons under the same manager and have trained to play to his tactics, which is a big thing. When you're chopping and changing the manager over and over again, they have a different specific style of play. You have to train to that. You have to train.
The difference is though. The difference is we spent a lot of money. They have a lot of expectations on the club, obviously, because you spend a lot of money, right? And the target we were looking for this season wasn't not unachievable. It was actually kind of realistic in hindsight, right? That's the reason why he's sacked. He's not sacked because for fun. If he got 4th or even 5th and got a trophy, he wouldn't be sacked. It's because of the poor goals. It's because of the final. It's because of the first half of the season. Too many reasons he's done bad things. There's reason why he's leaving. If half these things weren't true, I just said he would still be in the job.
But that's
if it was up to Poch, yeah, let me just finish my point as well. If it was because I want
to David after, guys, because I don't know what to say.
Yeah, we'll go to David next year. But like I've said, bro, like another scary thing for me, like I said, is the crazy decision to go and not play Maatsen. All pre-season, this guy was our best player. Yeah, you decided to not play him, and now he's in the Champions League final. For me, like I've told you, 1,000,001 times, Andre Santos could have come in because Enzo's been playing with a hernia all season pretty much. Yeah, he could have come in and played that position because Leslie got injured. And for me, as much as he played well the other day, I don't think Leslie's as ready as Andre Santos, right? Palmer, for example, in the summer. This manager said we've got too many attackers. He did not want Palmer. If it was up to him, we would have never got signed Cole Palmer, which is mad. Because if it wasn't for Cole Palmer, all my life would have been in a relegation battle. Do you know what I mean? So as much as people want to try and say, oh yeah, in 2024, we've been the 4th best team, it's only the past 5 games where I've actually had belief. Because when I was picking up results at the start of the year, it was Cole Palmer FC. And I kept saying, we're not playing well at the minute, but we're just scraping wins, or we're dropping points. We're dropping points to Burnley. We're dropping points to Sheffield. Both those games was even winning both times. And then we ended up dropping points, And like Ches has said, as bad as we've been, we've only finished 5 points behind Aston Villa, right? And who everyone's been raving on about. We've beat them twice at Villa Park. They've beaten Man City at Villa Park. They've beaten Arsenal at Villa Park. We went there and we looked at the home side, both games. You know what I mean? And that's because he set us up correctly. So it wasn't rocket science. And I'm glad he's gone. Because I honestly don't trust this manager. Like, he's a scary, scary guy, bro. Scary, scary guy.
Yeah, I hear you. David, how you doing, brother? Hope you're well. Good to see you as always. Poch is gone. Poch is out the door. You've always been someone that's stuck to giving him time, this, that, and the other. How do you feel about the news?
I'm a bit indifferent to it, just because if the owners and the hierarchy truly believe in what they're doing, they should do it 100%. And if they don't think that Poch is the manager to carry this young squad to where it needs to be, then I agree with the decision. It's that simple. Like, at this point, we're at what they want to do is what they want to do, because I don't know what the plan. There is a plan. I don't know what the plan is, so I'm not going to judge them based on what I think I'm seeing. That's it for me. Young. It's clear that we want to keep it young. And I said on the terrace the other day, I said I think they're going to keep it young, and then the young squad we inherited from this season is going to become the experienced team in about 3 years. So whatever they decide to do, they just need to find their guy and stick to their guy. If Poch ain't their guy, by all means, get rid of him after 1 season. But once you find that guy, you better be.
How long will it take, though, David? How long is it going to keep taking?
I know, it's frustrating, but
let me ask you this: who for you out of this list of the Zerbis and McKenna's and others that are on there, who for you would you think's looking at the squad and what we're trying to do, kind of with the possession-based the young talents that we've got there. Who do you think is best suited to come in and try and actually do something for the future?
Well, the only manager where I've watched more than like one game is the Stuttgart manager.
Okay,
like I haven't watched Ipswich all year, or like, well, I mean Brighton, I guess, but I don't know. Brighton, I feel like we've taken so much from Brighton.
We are Brighton. What do you mean?
Yeah, like it's
I feel so bad for Brighton.
It's getting a bit out of hand. So I don't know. I mean, would it make sense for the club to? Do you know what? Do you know what? If it was De Zerbi, I'd be a bit more understanding of what's going on, because then at least I knew from day dot they had a plan to get rid of this man, and they weren't swayed by the past 5 results, and then they went and did this. Like at that point, I'd understand. The Stuttgart manager, the only thing I have with Bundesliga managers is how well does their football transfer over to the Premier League? Because if you want to play possession, dominant, attacking football, then don't go to the Bundesliga, because that shit is back and forth. It may say 60%, but that other 40% where they don't have the ball, it is going that way very quickly. So,
well, that was what I was about to question on, because I'm looking at the stats breakdown of the 4. Like, they're talking about the 4 managers: the Ipswich manager, the Leicester manager, the Stuttgart manager, the Girona manager, and then Brighton, obviously, with De Zerbi. And it's talking about the defending element, and it's bringing out the stats per 90 on goals against and shots against and all this, that, and the other, which I ain't going to go through now because there's just a lot there. But when you go to like the ones that maybe are more important, i.e. the control, all important really, but Leicester managers got the highest percentile per 90 for passes attempts, along with the Stuttgart and then De Zerbi. This is, I'm not going to go through all this. I can't be asked, to be honest with you. I just thought I'd bring it up quickly. Touches per 90, the Stuttgart manager and Leicester manager seem to be quite up there. Goals and shots creating actions. Stuttgart manager's right up there again. Leicester manager's second. And then the Ipswich manager's third. De Zerbi is very mid-table when you compare him to these managers and what they've done in per 90 for the seasons. I'm just looking at the data on the per 90s across the ball, but it doesn't answer everything, don't get me wrong, but it gives you kind of like an idea, because these owners, which we know, are going for a control-based, possession-based style manager that they want, someone that's going to come in, and they use data analytics. This is their thing, isn't it? AI datas and all this stuff. So they will be looking at all this stuff when they're making their decisions, you know that. And that sounds really sad, but I think they will.
I just hope whoever's making those decisions knows what they're talking about.
But we know it's Winstanley and Stewart that are at the forefront of dealing with the several options, and then they're feeding back to Egbali and Bowley, is what Matt Law said.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, everyone likes taking the piss out of us, but our signings haven't actually been that bad, to be fair. Like, obviously, we signed a lot of players, so there's bound to be some, question marks over some players. But I think overall our transfer, like the players we've actually acquired, have actually been pretty good overall. So you just have to trust that they get. The thing is, once you get a manager right once, you don't have to do it again for like 7 years. Providing you just stick with them.
Does that tell them within 1 year though? That's my question.
No, I don't think so. But I just think that they were very confident that Poch wasn't the guy. That's why they got rid of him so quickly.
That's fair, and I agree with you. If that's the decision, listen, I wasn't against the fact of Pochettino getting sacked. You know what my feelings were towards it, but where I'm a little bit skeptical is that when we started the beginning of this new owners and we were trying to understand the project, the one thing I said to myself was, I'm not going to jump the gun, and I'm going to give them time, and then I'm going to see how they are in the next 2 to 3 seasons. That's next to 5 seasons to see how we progress. I looked where we are now, and we're coming to season 3, which is nearly halfway of the 5, or just over halfway of the 5 seasons that we've had here. And there's been a lot of regression than there has progression. There's been some good signings, but when you look at it from a tactical standpoint, manager standpoint, progression in that element, I've not seen that. And it's getting to the point now where I'm looking to it and I'm like, are we just always going to just keep going back to square one? And we're going to need another season and another season. We're never really going to get to that level where we want to, because we're always so fixated on trying to get the perfect individual in a season and making it work.
My thing with these new managers, as long as I can see, like green shoots of hope while we play, so we're creating chances. Like, even if we have bad results, but we, like, statistically we play well, I'll I can give them time. If I'm not someone who's like, I'm not blind in terms of whoever they hire, just give them 5 years. Like I'm not like, it's not like that. It's if I can see that there is, you know, there is a way that we are trying to play and we're creating chances and you know, maybe we have poor finishing, but at least we're creating the chances for our players to score, then by all means, I can sit by that manager. But if they bring in, I don't know, McKenna as an example, and he comes in and he looks out of his depth and, you know, we're conceding 3 goals every game, then
We're back to square one.
It's a bit more difficult. So
it's hard. It really is hard. And that's the real issue, because when you look at the most experience of the list, and they're not really been on the list, but I've seen comments, is Hansi Flick. But they don't want anyone over a certain age, so he doesn't fit.
Can I just piggyback David's point? Because obviously David makes a good point where he agrees with me sort of. Whereas like if we've made good decisions in terms of players like Palmer, Gusto, Leslie looks like a good guy. Obviously you've got the Enzos, you've got the Jacksons who's come like fruits and gone through the mud this season. If we trust in the players' recruitment, why can't I trust that they make the manager decision? Poch was never the guy for a long run anyway. He was literally meant to be here for a year or two to establish the team, which he's done, and kind of create like continuity in the squad, which he's done very well. But at the end of the day, the results have been poor, and that's why he's been let go, not because of the other stuff, the intangibles. The tangible stuff is why he's been let go. That the stats show it. That the stats show the board. So, for example, if the Stuttgart,
what did you say? The stats? The stats?
Bro,
did you say the stats?
I could list a few stats for you that I don't need to look up. We've conceded a lot of goals. Fact.
Yeah.
We've conceded a lot of set pieces.
We
Fact.
scored a lot of goals too.
No, of course, but that's a given, right? Like that's not something to be
Is
proud
it?
of.
Last year we scored 30 what? 37 goals?
Last year was one of our worst seasons as a Chelsea fan.
And this is one of our best. And this is one of our best.
Why are we comparing to a 0 season? That's not a good comparison. But anyway,
every season's comparable. It's a season under Chelsea.
No. My point is,
this is one of our best goal-scoring seasons of all time.
Moving from 38 goals is not an achievement.
Bro, this is one of our best goal-scoring seasons ever as a Chelsea team.
Brother, it's also one of our worst defensive seasons.
It's also this as well, if you want to go for it. Here we go. In your case, you need a reminder.
Thank you, Jem. Thank you. Yeah, and then people would sit there and really defend it. And look at these results.
I'm not defending anything. I'm just telling you when you're talking about the negatives. You're talking about the negatives. You have to talk about the positives too.
I know. I'm being balanced. You might be
okay. Continue. I'll back up. You continue.
Yeah. I'm the whole season. Yeah. I've been asked on this channel, even other channels, are you Poch in, Poch out? I've never given a definitive answer. Even yesterday on Top 6 show, shout out Terry, I said I was indifferent. That's a key word I used. That means if he goes, I don't care. If he stays, I'm here for it. So him leaving, I'm not going to all of a sudden go, oh, poor decision. And no one else should be as well, because at the end of the day, he just wasn't good enough. And we've spoken about all season, our standards have been dropping. We're 10th, 11th, 12th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. All season long, until the last 10 to 12 games, we've picked up form a bit. But even 6th is poor. In hindsight, we only finished 5 points behind 4th. You're telling me we could have got 1 more win and 2 more draws? Is that what you're telling me? With another manager?
I'm not telling you anything. I'm not telling you anything, actually.
That's what my thing. I'll gun you down if you disagree with me.
What's that?
I'll gun you down if you disagree with me.
No, I'm not saying.
My thing is.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Couch.
What are you saying, bro?
I appreciate it. My thing is, my issue is.
Get AJ involved, man. Let's see what he's saying.
You're sacking Poch for McKenna. I can't hear that. I can't hear the argument. Like I'm one of the main people. Me and Couch would go back and forth about this, but now I'm on Couch's side because I'm like, if you sack Poch and to go bring me McKenna. What are we saying? Like, what are we saying here? You can't be serious. Like, that's my issue. My issue is it all depends who they bring. Because if they bring McKenna or who's the Ipswich manager? Do I really have to go to YouTube? No, Jen, do I really have to go to YouTube to go watch how Ipswich play because it might be my manager of big old Chelsea Football Club?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what you got to do.
And you know what else? And you know what else too? On top of that, it's like, I don't
That's
even
exactly what you
trust
gotta
these
do.
guys to make the right decisions right now. Like they've shown me that they don't know what they want in a manager. They sacked Poch after what's his name, or Potter after like a season of like whatever that was. They sacked Tuchel. They sacked Lampard. They sacked the little caretaker guy, whatever his name is, and now they sacked Poch. And all through it, this was their selections. These are their selections. It's not like they came in and cleaned house. These are selections that they've made time and time again and have sacked 4, 5, 6 months after the fact. So I can't trust that these guys know what the right decision is anymore, because you're not showing any sort of like stability. You're not showing me any sort of like nous, any sort of tactical understanding. You're just, let's just get the next flavor of the month. Let's get the next flavor of the month. Let's get this guy. And for me, it goes beyond. Yeah, Bruno, that's a dude. Bruno, whatever that was his last name, Bruno. It's like just saying Larry. You remember that manager, Larry, that guy. Anyway, yeah, you guys feel me though. Like it's just incompetence, man. Like identify one name, and because we can't be wrong anymore. Like let's be real, we shouldn't have been wrong about Poch. Like we're not in a position where we can be wrong about the managers that we have at this club right now, especially because of the fact that we have this young playing staff. Young players need consistent message. You can't keep switching manager to manager, and expecting them to grow and reach their heights. It's not going to happen that way. Simple and plain. AJ, sorry, go ahead, man.
Go on, AJ. Let's get AJ involved. AJ, the news is broken. Poch is gone. What we saying, bro?
I mean, first of all, if this was April, I think most of us would not be surprised that Poch is out. But now, because we've had a good 3 weeks.
Facts.
We had a good 3 weeks, everybody. This is how life works. Things can change that fast like that, So I'm not surprised that it was a possibility, but I am surprised that we have seen such a shift in the team in terms of just getting the results and just the way that we play, where we've gained a bit more control, that I'm surprised that the ownership decided to not try to give that a chance to go forward and just cut it at the neck. And I mean, sometimes you got to do that. Maybe they had other worries before this even good period, and they was like, this guy's out regardless. Maybe they already made this decision a month ago. So I'm not surprised by it, but I am a little shell-shocked by the fact that we possibly could have had some stability over the next maybe 6 months from now, and including now the summer period and maybe the first couple months of the season, where we know that Poch was going to be the manager. The players know him. The fans are warming up to him a little bit more. So I'm surprised that all of that now is going out the window. We're basically starting back at ground zero. And then on top of that, when we were saying Poch out earlier in the season, it was with the caveat that we're getting a top manager or a better manager, off face value too. We don't know if these guys that are listed will end up being a better manager, but in terms of a business decision and looking at their history and what they're doing now and what Pochettino has done, their experience, they're not better managers. So it's a little bit of a weird situation, because it's like, it makes you feel like, what the fuck are we actually doing? Like, what's the actual plan? What do these guys see? What do they want to do? How do the players feel? So that's really where I'm going at it right now. I'm just on vibes, because again, I was Poch out from like January. I've been Poch out from like January. The only thing that's changed my mind is the last like couple of weeks. I was willing to give it another chance because I'm tired of going through this cycle. This shit is tiring. It's really tiring. It's stressful. It's annoying. Talking about it is annoying. We talk about this. Like, there was a period of time Jem stopped doing the streams because we just talking about the same shit. So it's like, it's just annoying, So, and it's confusing. But
true as well. That's the funny thing. You're so bored.
Literally, it was like 2 months of just the same shit, So
it was part of the reason why I couldn't be asked many lives. He's right. I was just like, we're going to say the same things. This keeps happening, But no, you're right. And, it's going to be a big decision on in the next coming days. I don't think they're going to take too long in appointing them, by the way. I think they're going to get it done quite quickly. I think they're going to go through the process quite quickly. They're going to narrow them down, and then you're going to probably find yourselves down to news coming out that there's maybe 2 or 3 remaining options, and they'll go through the phase, and then as soon as you know it, probably by next week we'll have a manager, I think. In my opinion, I think they're going to want to do it fast sooner rather than later. Guys, there's still over 550 people in here, man. Keep smashing the likes, guys. Thank you for obviously being here as well. We appreciate you. We need to run the likes up, though, guys. There's a lot of people watching us all over on Twitter as well at the moment, nearly 250. Guys, what you're saying over there as well, big up to you. It's good to see you all on there as well. Keep hitting the likes. We are going to continue a little bit more just because I know in the next 10, 20 minutes, there's going to be more news coming out in terms of articles. They usually bring out an article in and around 10 o'clock. So there might be some more news about the whole situation, which I'm just trying to wait out for to see if we can get more clarification. But Poch has been sacked on the basis of the philosophy, from what we understand, him not being fit in that. He also wanted, there was a big argument between, not an argument, but a disagreement between Poch and the owners in regards to the set piece manager, set piece coach, which, if you remember recently, we appointed the Brentford set piece coach on a 750,000 compensation option, which he was bought in. That went against what Poch wanted. And I think there's just a lot of things that from both sides. I don't think it was all just we like the owners going, we don't want this, we don't like that, we don't like this. I think it's also Pochettino sitting there going, well, if I can't get in, have control on this, or if we can't be involved in that. And I think they've just both just looked at it and gone, maybe this isn't for us. Maybe we do need to just move on. Thank you for doing what you did, but let's move. And he's moved at a good time because he's finished on quite a high. So for him, I don't think it will take him long to find a job personally. I think his reputation's kind of still there, if you know what I mean, as a manager. But it's just where he goes next. And it's what we do next, which is equally important right now. What are we going to do next? Who are we going to get next? Now, we're meant to be doing end of season review shows across the next couple of days, but obviously, it looks like it's going to be overtaken by the transfer news. We have got Hassan here as well. Hassan, what are you saying, bro? How are you?
Yeah. What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Yeah. No worries, man. I think like with you guys, I think we are indifferent about it because let's be honest, there has been like sackable offences where Poch should have gone, and there's been quite a lot. And but like what some of you guys were saying, I was probably one of his biggest advocate to get him out early. For me, I think he should have gone after the League Cup.
Yeah.
But these last few weeks and like the changes of like get Europa or you're gone, stuff like that, it's just like hinting that regardless of the result, they were finding a way to like sack him in a sense. But like, to be honest, we're not gonna fight. We're gonna find out properly because you know how it is when managers get sacked at Chelsea. 2 days later, an Athletic report will come out detailing like the behind the scenes, what went on, stuff like that. And I'm just sick and tired, to be honest with it. Really, it's because really we're gonna talk about like the same kind of crap as you guys were saying before. But I don't know about these newer managers and these championship managers because there's a lot of question marks with the clubs and players and managers in general because everyone knows how much of a big jump it is from the championship to the Premier League in a tactical sense, in a aspect of players and managers. The Bundesliga, like what David was saying, it's back and forth football. Like he'll have to change certain style of players because let's be honest, like Bundesliga football and Premier League football are two like completely different level of football. For me, right, I think they should have just stuck with Poch, gave him a second chance, despite like my original sort of like thought process of getting rid of him simply because of like the amount of new players he needed to have, the amount of time he had, the amount of injuries, stuff like that. But hey, the board, I'm sure that the board have probably already found the guy and they've already like got a plan of who's coming in now. It's just a matter of time before they publicly announce it. But I just feel for Poch because he's walked into a job where, I mean, it's part of it his own mistakes, part of it's to do with his own mistakes, but some of them are. So it's like, I don't know how to describe it to you, but like it's weird, man. It's just weird being a Chelsea fan at this moment in time. Like
Oh, it is.
they have to. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're gonna have to get the next manager right, because otherwise the players are gonna walk out. A lot of these players have been bought because they believe in the project and they believe they start to win trophies. The next manager is crucial for me. It has to be more crucial than ever, because otherwise you're gonna start seeing players walking out the store, and that's what I'm a bit worried about. But
I hear you.
besides that, man. Besides
Yeah.
that, I don't know what to say about the other managers besides watch a few compilations and pray that they do well at Chelsea.
Yeah, I hear you. And Ben Jacobs has come out with a bit more detail into the regards to the sacking. The end of season review was very analytical. Understand the leadership team, especially Begdad Egbali, came armed with data. Some negative data was presented to Pochettino, showcasing some of the Chelsea's long season inconsistencies or weaknesses, including missed big chances and the failure to make set pieces count. Yeah, I hear that. I'm not going to lie. Pochettino's position has always been Chelsea's young and injured squad contributed to some expected shortcomings. But the end of the season momentum and the UCL form since Boxing Day showed clear improvement. There was conscious between Pochettino and Chelsea that there was a strategic mismatch, and the part was that's mutual. Although Todd Bowley said publicly that Chelsea were playing some beautiful football of late, a view echoed by other senior executives at the club, overall opinion was decided on Chelsea's style both now and in the future. The leadership team had to also consider what Chelsea might look like next season under Pochettino, not just now. So they were just very worried about next season and how it could look when they looked at the data of how he played through the season, how it played out through the season. There was a lot of negatives in certain areas that upset them and made them feel maybe that he won't improve on them. Maybe, like I've been saying, maybe they just saw the naivety of him not to want to come with other ideas. And that was the biggest issue for me with Pochettino. He kind of died on his sword a bit at the beginning because he just kept sticking to it. And I get sticking to a system because that's what coaches do, but he didn't really implement it until later, and he needed to implement it. He needed to do something to help it slightly, and he wasn't. And he left them dry out there. You know, it was clear and evident when you watched him in game that he left them dry out there in many. So, you know, they're only going on what they see, and on if they've got data fucking projects on him and whatever, then fair enough. But you know, I think it swings both ways, Kelly. Do you know what I mean? I think it swings both ways, doesn't it? Really, kind of thing. But
It does. It's really down to just how we're implementing and executing our decisions. Because like a lot of people were going at the ownership based on the players. I was like, it's hard to be going at the ownership for the players when it's been one season, right? So one season goes, we hit that rock bottom, we're 10th. We go another season. Halfway through the season, we're sitting at 10th again. Everyone's blaming the players. Everybody's blaming the manager. Everybody's blaming the owners. The players, towards the end of the season, show clear signs of improvement, progress, and not to mention the ability to get top four with those squad of players. Poch, on the other hand, showed his 4-2-3-1, you know, his status quo formation and tactics that he usually uses, right? And he finally started implementing it correctly in the last 10 games or so. But it was the 10 games too late. Do you get what I'm saying? That first half of the season was so abysmal. He outdid Graham Potter. He outdid Graham. Like, I don't think people understand how many goals we conceded. I full-heartedly give him credit for him improving our attack in the way that he has. But if he just improved the defense ever so slightly, if he would have just kept a consistent back four or back three, whatever he wanted, I don't care what he wanted, but he never would keep a consistent back line. And as a result, we suffered for it drastically. So it's like, I can't be remiss. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not happy he's gone. But my main thing, and I'll leave you guys with this, as I have to go and go pick up my brother, is my thing is they have to get it right. And when I mean get it right, I don't care if I don't agree with the manager. Show it on the football pitch. You've invested enough money to show that we can achieve top four like normal. I'm not saying anything crazy. I used to come in here talking about we need to compete for titles. I'm not even saying that anymore. All I'm saying is get top 4, which is clearly doable with this squad. Klopp just left. Ten Hag has United in shambles. Newcastle are floundering with Howe. Aston Villa are shaky in 4th. Spurs are not ready. Why can't we get 4th? I'm not telling you to be better than Arsenal. I'm not telling you to be better than City. I'm just saying get top 4. And people are acting like that's a monumental thing to do. And it's not. We were 5 points off. And we dropped points to Burnley, Wolves. The list can go on. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Like the stupid, we should have won against Arsenal, ended up with a draw. Should have won against City, ended up with a draw. Should have won against United the first game, ended up losing. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, come on. We have to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, and on that note, guys, just before we finish off, been told that the coach circle that Hansi Flick will not become the new coach of Chelsea. Didn't think so with his age being 59. He falls out of that young reign of being young. Still 475 people in there as well. Guys, we will be bringing you more news tomorrow at some point in and around this as well. I want to thank you all for being here as always, guys. It's been good. Pochettino is gone. The vacancy's open. The pressure is on for the ball to get this right now. We want to see who the next option is at this football club. We will keep our eyes open and peel for it as well. And we'll be reporting back to you guys of any more news that we've got as well. Before you leave, hit the likes. Still 470 of you here. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Give us a follow on GNA TV, guys. GNA TV, which is my channel as well, which we're working our way towards 10K. So we'd appreciate it if we could get some more follows there. And also Chelsea Fan TV, guys. Make sure that you guys are following them up and subscribing and all of that over there as well, guys. And we will be back 10:15 now. So we've been on for an hour and 30. We'll be back tomorrow at some point, guys. Take care of yourselves. Up the Chelsea. And let's see what happens next. Peace.